Dr. Phil, I mean, you gotta love his bravery. He actually goes on The View and says something that is going to freak out The View. Back to our COVID stuff, the things that we now know were not necessary. He's going to say the COVID lockdowns were pointless for children, and they cause more damage for the kids. It's so much it's worse than COVID itself.
Yep.
And now he said this on The View. Mm-hmm. This is Dr. Phil, not some staunch right-wing conspiracist. This is Dr. Phil, who's usually welcomed with open arms by the left, but he's not popular now. Here we go.
And the same agencies that knew that are the agencies that shut down the schools for 2 years. Who does that? Who takes away the support system for these children? Who takes them away and shuts it down? And by the way, when they shut it down, they stopped the mandated reporters from being able to see children that were being abused and sexually molested, and in fact sent them home and abandoned them to their abusers with no way to watch, and referrals dropped 50 to 60%. So
there was also a pandemic going on. They were trying to save
kids' lives. Remember, we know a lot of folks who died during this. So it wasn't, people weren't laying around eating bond, but, well, you know what? We're lucky. Maybe we're lucky they didn't, because we kept them out of the places that they could be sick, because no one wanted to believe we had an issue.
Are you saying no school children died of COVID?
I'm saying it was the safest group. They were the less vulnerable group, and they suffered and will suffer more from the mismanagement of COVID than they will from the exposure to COVID. And that's not an opinion, that's a fact.
Boom!
Whoa!
Dr.
Whoa!
Dr. Phil! Dr. Phil!
What? That's not an opinion, ladies. That's a fact.
That's a fact. Boy, I wish he could have been drinking something. He could just.
That's a fact, Jack.
Turned it up.
Yeah. Be like, what about that, Whoopi? Glook, glook.
Yeah, right. Well, you
slammed
saw
it down. He slammed it on the
went
desk.
everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you saw how he was. No, the damage that was done far exceeded any risk they were at.
Yeah.
So anyway, he'll never be back on The View. But I'm glad we got that before he was banned.
Yeah.
But he's also trying to talk logic and common sense, and it's okay for us to look back and say, here are some things we didn't do well, and because we now know information. You can even say we have information now we didn't have then. Of course, you can't really say that about that, because we knew the risk to children was very, very small.
It was almost like it was about like power and control or something.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
It was on.